you take a good look, well, not even a look, if you glance at the art that I make, you can tell that I have no clue when it comes to full rendering and blending full illustrations. Well, I'm gonna put myself to the test. And thanks to Wingfox for letting me try out one of their classes. If you don't know, Wingfox is an online learning platform. They have a bunch of courses that revolve around art and gaming, concept design, and 3D, stuff like that. You'll get access to the content, resources that the creator shares, and discussions. You can share thoughts and ask questions with others taking the course, or with the creator directly. I got the chance to study brushes, techniques, and steps of impasto painting a little girl. This course is by Tiang. I actually get to choose the classes, and I went with this one because it's most different to my style. I mean, look at my art. Cel-shaded and stylized, and then look at theirs. Realism looking like traditional painting. There's no way I can paint like that, but I'ma try. This course is 5 hours long with 3 chapters, and everything is drawn in Photoshop. I actually started out with Photoshop, so this really feels like going back to my roots. I haven't drawn in Photoshop in years. The resources contain PSD files for the art, the reference image, and a really big brush set. Maybe too big. There is no time limit on the course, so I can study this at my own pace. The first chapter touches on some foundations like the skull, lighting, and brushes, but very briefly. And the second is how to draw different facial features, understanding the anatomy and shadings. Here are some sketches that I did along the way while watching, and look, I know it's not good. I didn't sketch this in Photoshop, so it's different brushes, and I haven't drawn anatomy since college. And lastly, the third chapter, which guides you through the whole process of impasto painting a little girl. So I grabbed my tablet and drew along while watching the videos to see if I can learn something. Everything is done on a single layer. The whole walkthrough and explanation is really detailed and easy to follow along. But I still struggle to keep up because I can't draw without line art, and this is giving me war flashbacks to when I was still struggling trying to paint like this. Like, look at this. You make art. I capture the souls of little Victorian girls. Later on, I remembered Photoshop brushes can be imported to Clip Studio Paint, so I moved over to work there instead. Yes, I cheated and left Photoshop once again. The brushes will lose some settings, but I felt more comfortable with Clip Studio, so I was able to keep up with the artist. Jiang continuously mentions that this takes time, and to not rush, but with me, an artist that rushes everything is a speed paint to me. I felt like a hyper-energetic dog being told to sit still, but slowly working on it bit by bit was really nice. Almost therapeutic. I still rushed this a bit anyway, I'm on a tight schedule, but I did my best. And here's my final product compared to the artist. Please, I need someone to compliment me and tell me I did a good job. Pretty sure I can do better with more patience and practice. Final thoughts, this course is said to be for trainees, so I'd say it's for people with at least some basic art skills and experience in digital art. Beginners might find this a little too complex to follow along, but if you've been doing art for a while and you want to try paint like this, give this course a go. I recommend getting this during sale, and that happens to be right now. Just hit the link in the description and also use code SS25 for 25% off. If you do try this course out, hit me up. Let's compare notes. And that's my review for the class. And now I want to put my new knowledge to the test and mix what I just learned with my own art style. I'll create something with the impasto painting style using Clip Studio Paint with this reference image. Let's go. So what I'm doing here is actually I started out with a sketch instead of what Jiang does, which is block out colors. I'm just more comfortable this way, and also I changed the anatomy up to fit my own art style. Like, I made her eyes a lot bigger, also add more fluff to her hair, and I shifted it a bit to not look too realistic because it's not something that I'm proficient at. And then I started the process, which is similar to what Jiang does. In the past, I actually tried to paint like this a lot. I would actually practice and try to figure it out on my own. I could never get a grasp on it, which is why I completely abandoned the art style of painting something and just stuck to cel shading instead. I feel like selecting colors is something that's really difficult, also the whole blending process. But after watching the class, I did get a better understanding of what to do, how to blend. There are times when I do actually have to use layer modes, like I make a new layer, set it to multiply for additional shadings, like that, instead of actually painting on a single layer. The brush set that came with this, totally worth it, absolutely amazing, even when using in Clip Studio Paint. In between recording this, I actually used it on a different piece of art, which I can't really show the full picture because it's still in a work in progress and something that I can't show off yet, maybe just a small portion. But this brush set was really nice and textured for backgrounds that are nature themed. But in between, I wasn't only using Jiang's brush set, I was also using the, regular hard round watercolor brush of Clip Studio Paints. I did find this process to be actually really nice. I do get the appeal of sitting down and spending hours on getting details, just slowly blending in the colors and getting more details in a piece of work. Also did some final touches in Photoshop, which is something that the artist taught. It's a pretty cool effect which sharpens up all the brush strokes, and then went back to Clip Studio to do some additional touch-ups. So what do you think? I think I actually did pretty well. Mixed with my own art style, I think this is really nicely semi-realistic. If I actually practice more, this is something I could get better at, but sadly I don't have the time. And that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed seeing my art process. Please let me know what you think. And again, if you want to try this course out as well, just hit the link in the description and use the code SS25 for 25% off. Thank you again to Wingfox for letting me take this course. That's it, bye!